Welcome to the event. We're really happy that you're here. We're about to go live in just a few moments, but before we lift off, there's a few important things we want to make sure that you're aware of so you get the best possible experience out of this. First of all, the sound current is supremely important to us, the musical experience. So if possible, we really encourage you to use good speakers or headphones to experience the class with. Second, if you have any pre-existing injuries, please take care of yourself, modify as you need to. Don't risk exacerbating an injury because of a yoga exercise. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions and you're not quite sure if this would be good for you, please consult with your primary healthcare practitioner and make sure it's the right thing for you. Also, make yourself relatively comfortable. You can use a cushion, and in fact, we encourage you in our seated positions, meditation practices, to use a cushion. It helps lift the heart up, keep the spine straight, and it's more ideal for the flow of energy in the body and for the meditation experience. You can even be sitting in a chair with feet flat on the floor for those of you that are unable to sit in a meditative sitting posture on the floor. Just use a chair, and for many of the exercises, that will work perfectly fine. And then lastly, if you're having any problems with the video streaming, try refreshing the page, or if you see a gear icon on the video, adjust your resolution. If you're new to this type of thing, just take care of yourself. If there's something that you don't quite understand, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everything that needs to click will click after a few times of trying it out. Enjoy the experience. We're about to get started in just a moment. Okay, welcome back everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Really great to be here with you. Happy full moon. And here we are on the actual full moon day. The full moon peaks evening time, West Coast United States. And here we are. And last night, we were, as many of you know, we were about to go live for our originally scheduled time, and literally kind of in the countdown to push go, poof, the power went out in all of Nevada City, the whole town. And it didn't come on till, late last night. So we were able, with the resourcefulness of Aki over here, within just like few minutes, he had a battery backup and allowed us to stream something for like 15 minutes, and as long as the battery would last. And so we at least were able to hang out for a few and kind of get the ball rolling a little bit. So I feel very grateful to be here this morning, and I was even like, I didn't even really want to go to bed last night. I did, but I was like, I'm still kind of in the mode of doing this right now. And so I did get some good sleep, and woke up refreshed and really grateful to have an experience together, of spend 90-ish minutes together where we're really taking a contained amount of time in order to work on we say work on ourselves. I don't love the semantics so much, because to me, most of the time, it doesn't feel like working on myself. Of course, that's a part of it. The long grind, making sure that we have some good consistency in our life, and we're utilizing the tools that we know and that we've learned in our lives, or we're learning new tools to make sure that we're keeping our mind attuned to what's most important for us in our lives, and we're making sure we're keeping our bodies healthy with good vitality, so that we have the energy and the clarity to first attune to what's most important for us in our lives, and then to actually move in that direction. And that does definitely take work. However, when I sit down and I'm doing all this, often my feeling is this is called love. It is nurturing. It is a practice of devotion. It's not a practice always of discipline. The discipline is getting here. But then it becomes the practice of devotion. And devotion is the sweetest. It doesn't mean devotion in a religious sense necessarily. It doesn't mean devotion to anything in particular. But all of us will have some natural way that our hearts will be aligned in such a fashion that will help us to feel the deeper heart of devotion. Because our emotional energy is going to move in no matter what. We're going to have emotional energy in our life. That's just the fact of the human experience. Is energy is in motion. It becomes our emotion. And so the question becomes, what channels are we building for our emotional energy? Because emotional energy can go commotional, but emotional energy can also go devotional. But devotional could be in some of the most simplest ways. We feel devotional to our family, we feel loyalty, we feel devotional to our friends, and that's a positive emotion because it's a feeling of love. But then you could also just be in awe of the majesty of Mother Nature, and you'll just feel a natural sense of devotion. You'll feel like you want to uplift her. You'll feel like you want to protect her. You feel like you want to live in such a way that would do no harm to her. That's an act of devotion too. So it's both disciplines and devotions. In the Yoga Sutras, they call that yamas, niyamas. The first two limbs of the eight limbs of yoga. Yama, niyama. And so though also in some cases we do have devotional energy towards maybe some lineage, maybe some path, because we've come in contact, often is the case, with inspiring human beings, teachers, poets, artists that have tremendously benefited our life. And so when you have something that has genuinely benefited your life, you feel devotion, you feel gratitude and love. And so when we can access our feelings of that type of loving gratitude, a feeling of devotional energy, the sweetness of the heart. So many of us, we have traumas around religions, because it was pushed upon us in ways that may have not felt right to us. And many of us, of course, have wonderful feelings about religion and then everything in between. My point is, it's not really requiring any one way of looking at it. That everybody has their own path. Everybody in that sense has their own guru. That's what we mean in this case when we say the guru. The guru is the energy of life, the wisdom that is innate, the intelligence that is innate in life itself and creation itself. That is also loving wisdom. It's loving wisdom in the sense it's a guiding force that helps our heart know its truth. And when your heart is helped like that, you'll feel love. And sometimes that might come through the experience of your own kind of epiphany, and just you went through maybe a challenging experience, And then that challenging experience made you a wiser person and therefore a happier person after you got through it. So in that case, that challenging experience was the guru. You know what I mean? This is how you turn suffering into medicine. And so then furthermore, when we feel that natural devotion well up in our hearts, because we feel this natural connection to a guiding energy of our life, then you can feel and use that energy, which is what we want to do today. That's kind of the point, and why I take a few moments before we begin moving our bodies to bring that feeling up in our hearts right now, and continue to do that as we'll go along here. But then we can build upon it, because you can feel whatever you're naturally having gratitude for. And it can go all the way back to like coaches that you may have had, mentors, anything, non-embodied energies such as music that has taught you something, art that has taught you something, that has helped you benefited our life. And we can feel the mystery and the awe of that uplifting force of energy that does help us feel interconnected to love and interconnected to all of life, actually. And so that's how we build upon the feeling of love that we can connect, that we can feel, because we can reflect on these things, and we can use the power of our mind to bring our energy into our heart. Why not? And that's not an esoteric concept. That's simply reflect on something that makes you feel love, and do it intentionally as a niyama, something you do. Yamas, disciplines, those are the things they say, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. The yamas is nobody likes as much, because it's like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And that's very easy to become dogmas and rules that folks become a slave to, but that's not the purpose of it. Niyamas, do these, do this, but don't just do it in a kind of casual way. Do it in a way that's a type of a practice that you can do consistently, like a sadhana. That's why where the Life Force Academy was birthed from, was that basic acknowledgement that if you do something consistently for more elongated periods of time, such as reflect on your gratitude, reflect on love, bring your energy into the space where you can really feel a genuine sense of purpose. You may not be able to put words to it. You may not be able to explain it to anyone. And you may try, and then as Nanak says again and again in Japji, try to describe this type of thing, and you instantly regret doing it. So that's, I think, where music is born, where poetry is born. But when we do something consistently like that in a contained space, how do we create a boundary for ourselves? You say, well, in this certain case, from this start time at 10 a.m. Pacific until 11:30ish. I say ish because sometimes when we open these big full moon things up, they tend to go a little longer. So 90 minutes, 2 hours max. In that creates a boundary for us. During this period of time, this is what we're doing. That's called a sadhana, a practice. And that's a type of yama, to say, I'm not doing anything else. I don't have that Netflix series going on over there on the side while I'm doing this. I'm not, unless there's some emergency or something like that, I'm not interacting with any other part of my life. I'm doing this during this period of time. So that's the yama part, but then there's the niyama part, the devotional part, is that I'm not just doing it so that I am healthy and my body doesn't have toxins, and that because I need to work on my mind and I need to refine my emotions. Yeah, all of that is relatively true, definitely. But the way that I do that is through the experience of deeper and more generous love. The way that I do that is using these kriyas and these practices and these exercises in order to bring myself into a space where I am very genuinely enjoying the experience of my own energy, and I'm enjoying the experience of life, even with all its painful challenges and all its complexities that are happening. Right now, what I'm doing is going right into the center of things. That I'm working to center the life force in my nervous system so that the mind will go into a confident relaxation. And when the mind achieves that type of stability, which is what the moon is all about, and that's why when you're doing this on a full moon, you can create a very powerful stability, very confident stability. And that confidence, when the mind gains that confidence, it's felt all through the body. The life force has now centered itself nicely in your central channels or central nervous system. And when our life force flows in the central nervous system, it tends to flow rhythmically and smoothly. When our energy, life force, chi, prana, is more in the periphery of us, peripheral nervous system, then it's more activity, and it tends to go fight or flight. So it tends to be more of a sympathetic nervous system response. That keeps us more in that kind of, if it's not high anxiety, it's what I kind of think of as low-grade anxiousness, worrying mind. Or it could be also like low-grade depression, melancholy mind. There's nothing wrong with melancholy mind. We just don't want to be stuck there habitually. When this is what the waves of emotion are all about. You'll sometimes feel melancholy, sad, bummed out. Well, if we're becoming more and more skillful in how we're able to feel those energies and those emotions without subconsciously pushing them away, but embracing them fully. Right now, melancholy has become the guru. Then we won't get stuck there. It won't become chronic melancholy. It will move through us in a way that will allow it to more fully metabolize. And all of the emotions, when they are fully metabolized, become love. All energy in motion, all emotions are energy in motion, endeavoring to become fully metabolized into love. That's the same concept in Ayurveda, in the great medicine of ancient India, is that all the different foods that you're eating, all the different tastes, are there to ultimately create the sweet taste. So sweet, salty, sour, pungent, bitter, astringent, these 6 tastes of all the different foods that we have, is ultimately to metabolize what we could call deep sweetness. Deep sweetness. Because if you just go after the sugar and try to find sweetness by chasing sugar, you get very bitter results. Diabetes, you're out of balance, you get either overweight or your blood sugar's all over the place, and there's no stability. But that's why there's sour, salty, pungent, bitter, astringent. So you can actually digest sweetness in a deeper way, to where then it becomes deep nutrient. This is what they call the post-digestive sweetness. And that sweetness is what gives your organs their vitalities and their tissues, and the tissue layers, your blood, your plasma, the lymph, the immune system, the muscle, the fat, the bone, the marrow, the brain, the nerve, the reproductive fluids. Gives them their vitality is through sweetness. Now that's happening at the level of your food, but it happens, of course, simultaneously at the level of your mind. What tastes are to the body, emotions are to the mind. And so then when you have bitter experiences, if the mind is still habitually sugar chasing, then you'll push away the bitter experience. But right now, that bitter experience is the guru, but I'm pushing him away. I'm pushing her away. And so when the bitter experiences come, nobody likes it. But you can learn to really appreciate it. And that's the glory of yoga practice. That's the glory of Dharma practice. And that, when it shows us how, because bitter experiences are coming no matter what. Bitter is the opposite of sweet. We need both. And so when you have no bitter taste in your diet, the liver won't work as well. Then the blood isn't going to be as good, and it's not going to flow as well over time. And you'll start to feel stagnation. So if there's only sweet experiences in life, we would also hit stagnation, and we wouldn't really be happy. It's only when we experience the deeper nucleus of what we are, arouse the deeper hearts of love and compassion and devotion, then our real happiness begins. When everything is about love. And not just love that I'm somehow trying to accumulate for myself, but the experience of love and how it vibrates the entire web of life and how we're a part of that. And so then we learn that it's through the generosity of our hearts, genuine kind-heartedness towards the others of our life without regard to our relationship to them, meaning they're either a friend, a foe, or an unknown. It makes no difference from this perspective. From this perspective, it makes no difference. Our love is everlasting. It's not a well that is ever going to run dry. From another important perspective, that's the niyama. The yama is I also need boundaries. Because my life force in this incarnation is very precious, and I only have so many breaths here, and there's important work to be done. There's important thing, and that work is the gateway into the deeper love. And so we do need boundaries. If someone's coming into our space with energy that's going to be potentially harmful to me or harmful to others, you better believe I'm going to set a boundary. This isn't some fluffy business, but it is love. And so it's getting into that space in ourselves where we have the strength of knowing what we're all about, having strength in our resolve, in our convictions. Then you know exactly where to put boundaries because you know what's important. And anything that is trying to pull our energy unnecessarily away from what's important, you'll just say, And so in all love, this is the space I'm choosing to inhabit. And so we need both. And that's what this full moon, I think, has a lot to do with. Sidereally speaking, it's Capricorn full moon, which that means it's in opposition to Cancer. So Cancer is the flow of water. Capricorn is the container. And so when you have a strong container, the river of your heart will flow very powerfully. If there's no container, it's just kind of like pools out. You know what I mean? So today is about strengthening our energy, bringing our minds into greater sense of clarity, sense of purpose. When we say mind, we also mean heart. Don't think mind here. Everything is the mind, but it's centered right here. And then through that, we work to actively, as a practice, as a sadhana, extend the heart's generosity beyond our normal boundaries so we can very effectively, not just a nice title for a class, but very practically arouse the deeper heart of devotion and compassion. Okay, I'm glad we're all here together. Let's begin. Take your hands, make a little heat, and bring them into the prayer pose center of the chest. Chest is out, chin is slightly in, shoulder blades are dropped, eyes are closed down. And inhale deeply. And exhale. Inhale. Suspend the breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Okay, beautiful friends. Come and onto the hands and the knees. And as you're ready, we're going to begin cat-cow. You're going to be inhaling. The head is coming up. Exhale, the head is coming down. Just move at your own rhythm to start with. And the breath is through the nose, the eyes are closed down. For those of you newer to all of this, anything doesn't make quite, oh, what's that? What's going on? Don't worry so much. Today it really doesn't matter. Most importantly is your focal point in every exercise. The starting point there is to focus on the breath. Close the eyes down. And nurture the body with the breath, with the rhythm of the movement, nurturing and moving, circulating the cerebrospinal fluid by putting the deep rhythmic breath in combination with the body movement, inhaling as the head is up, exhaling as the head is down, and the pelvis tucks under as the head comes down, the spine arches up. It'll massage your digestive power, massage your digestive system, lower and small intestine, and also the digestive fire, and help to balance it, the Agni, of which every cell in your body depends on this digestive fire. Keep going. Create a nice little rhythm for yourself. Inhale, head is up. Exhale, head is down. Good. Come sitting up on the heels. Make sure you're right on your sit bones. You can use a cushion like Leah, if that helps. Hands on your lap. Chest is lifted, chin is in. Eyes will be closed down. Breath through the nose. And inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale back. Chin slightly in. Every inhale, lift through the sternum. Smooth and rhythmic. Through the nose, breathe. It's not a long breath, but it's a deep and substantive breath. As you continue, lift through your pelvic floor very gently and keep going. That'll allow you to work with your energy system more substantively. See if you can relax the mind and relax the gaze between the two eyebrows, where the root of the nose meets your skull bone. If you can't do all that, don't worry. Just listen to the breath and do the movement. And keep going. Inhale deep. Exhale. Beautiful. Make your way back, sitting cross-legged, easy pose. Sukhasana. And then your hands come to here. Heart is open wide, pelvic floor lifted. Eyes closed, relaxed gaze. Pituitary point, third eye. Inhale left, exhale right. Keep going. Inhale, center. Suspend the breath. Lift through the root line. Heart is open. Heart is softened. Then draw the meditative gaze, third eye. And be very still, spacious. Exhale. Beautiful. Hands to your knees. And then inhale up, exhale, release like it can be much slower too. But remember, lift through the pelvic floor. Gentle lift of mulban. And keep your heart out, lifted, chest out, chin slightly in. And then work with the rhythm, work with the breath, work with the body. Third eye, gaze, go. Release the stress and tension and open the channels. Use the breath. Sat, 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 Om Sat. Inhale, squeeze up. Exhale, release. Now try this. Left arm out like this, right arm underneath, and then make the right hand go and bring the right hand into the palm of the left hand. If you can, as close as you can. Lift through your heart. Relax your shoulders down. And then breathe. And just mindfully relaxing the tensions. Prithviha, realm of the earth. Earth Tattva. Akashaha, realm of the ether. The heavenly realm, so to speak. And switch the arms. Now right arm out. Left arm underneath. Opening the shoulders so the prana can flow. Guru Ram Das hai. Realm of the great heart. And release. Now hands back to the knees. And then mind is relaxed, breath is rhythmically substantive. Lift through the pelvic floor, continue. Squeeze the shoulders up tight. Squeeze out the tension. And relax, exhale. Beautiful. Stretch the legs out wide. Flex the feet. Inhale, center, turn to your left. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Other side, exhale down, and then just keep it going. Flex the feet, bring energies in your toes. Stretch it, spread your toes and bring energy into them. Every inhale, fill your lungs. Inhale, center, and then hinge down forward. And relax the groin, but flex the feet. Extend through the heart, tuck through the chin, elongate through the crown, through the spine. Breathe long and deep. As you inhale, prana is drawing in, down through the heart into the pelvic bowl. As you exhale, life force chi is lifting up through the heart center, filling the bowl of the skull, nurturing all the brain tissue, the crown chakra, the ajna, the pituitary, the pineal, the thymus gland, the thyroid and parathyroid, the thymus and hypothalamus, the thalamus and hypothalamus, the frontal cortex, gaze the third eye, the evolutionary electricity of the nervous system. And then relax, shake your legs out, come standing. And you'll have your hands in the Jnana Mudra, index fingers to your thumb. Eyes open, gazing at a single point, doesn't matter what it is. Then inhale up, exhaling down. It'll be sat, na, 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 sat. Knees up to hip level if possible, and you create a marching rhythm. Use the breath power. And see if you can keep your mind relaxed even if it becomes difficult. Use the arms. Circulate open the lymph, all those lymph nodes under your arms, upper chest. So much of your immune system relies on the health of your lymph. We have to move, we have to exercise if we expect our vitality to stay strong. Keep going. Exhale, release. Good job, everybody. Now stretch the legs out, and then the arms out as well. Fingers are firm, legs are strong, just like Leah's doing. Inhale here, exhale down like so. Use the strength of your leg and your core and your navel point to lift you on your inhales. And every inhale, fill your lungs. Everybody in the Zoom room looks incredible. Thanks to everybody who also jumped in there. That's how we create a nice Sangha space, is opening that Zoom room. And thanks to everybody who turned their videos on. You look amazing and it's inspiring to see everybody. Keep going, friends. Alright, inhale. Good, relax. Okay, make your way back to easy pose. Okay, index fingers to thumb, hands on the knees, palms facing up. And you're gonna stretch your tongue out. Chest is out, shoulders released. And you stretch your tongue out so it goes. See if you can do that like a panting dog. If you can't do it that fast, you can do it slower, but see if you can open the chest. Stimulates your immune system, this pranayama, and opens the heart by opening the channels of prana in the chest. It helps to lighten chronic melancholy and depression.
We return to nothing, in the realm of pain.
If at any point you need to rest, please just rest. Just less than 30 seconds to go. Inhale. Suspend the breath. And through the nose, exhale. Inhale deep through the nose. Suspend the breath and push the underside of your tongue against the roof of your mouth. It'll stimulate, pressure your pituitary gland. Exhale. Inhale, do that again. Pituitary's master gland, the endocrines. How are we going to navigate this whole mess of the world if we don't have good intuition, connected heart? Exhale. You know what I mean? If we allow ourselves to get overly sluggish, not paying attention to our subtlety, not paying attention and nurturing our intuition, our heart, all the things that are ultimately important. These are the things that will be important to us when we're taking our final moments in breath, for sure. How much love you got, how much love is there, and how much, and also, excuse me, how much fear is there. I had something in my throat, I wasn't getting emotional. For anyone who's wondering, this smoke is frankincense. These are the things that are important, and so then that's how, if we're actively paying attention to that, and one of the useful ways to pay attention to that is to remind ourselves that all this is impermanent. This is all going to end. This is in the way that we know it right now. And so, although that's not always an extremely uplifting thought at first for most people, it later becomes an uplifting thought because you have the realization and some experience even, maybe not ultimate experience, but some relative useful experience that gives you some level of wisdom. That there's a great glory in what doesn't change. There's even a much, thankfully, thank God, there's a much more substantive field of reality that is non-changing in nature, that any of us can find refuge in. You can find refuge from the world by building a house, and we do that. And we create boundaries for ourselves by having a house where there's walls that protect you not just from other human beings, but the elements, nature, rain, a storm, fire, whatever. So but those are wonderful and cozy and important for our life here, but they're relative refuges. You can create refuge in a relationship where you feel now more stable because now you have a beautiful partner to live with, and you can build together, and it gives a certain type of relative stability, but it's not ultimate stability. People treat relationships like they're going to give them ultimate stability. That's a total illusion and a recipe for the relationship to lose its harmony, because eventually the relationship will show us that it doesn't provide ultimate stability, and therefore we will be mistaking the relationship for something other than what it actually is. It's a beautiful thing. It can be even a vehicle to help you go deeper and deeper into yourself, to where we can find a real refuge. You find the refuge in the reservoir of love in your own heart, and out of that pours confidence and courage and clarity and intuitive energy and conviction. And so then that's why, like the Buddha and so many of the great traditions around the world say something along the lines of, you take refuge in the Dharma, meaning you're taking refuge actually in the field of reality. People mistake that for thinking you're taking refuge into the religion. Refuge into that now we've mistaken another vehicle for, which is a different type of relationship, my relationship with this path, my relationship with this tradition, my relationship with this lineage, which is can be tremendously profound and beautiful, but we have a tendency to even latch on to that stuff as if they're ultimate refuge. They are vehicles that can help a human being discover what the real refuge is and to experience it. Because ultimately then it's an ocean and the river is no longer necessary. And so, and those types of boundaries that create the river are no longer necessary. But in the meantime, we need tools, we need focus. We only have so many breaths here. So what's the tools I'm going to use? How am I going to make this work so that I can live my life with more joy, regardless of the outer circumstances, regardless of the temporary refuge that I may have in my relationship, in my home, in my work, in my career. And these are temporary refuge, but they're important. We have to do them because here we are with the Dharma and with the karma. So this full moon is in the Vedic astrology in the lunar mansion of Uttarashada. It represents victory. And it represents victory, though, that comes with some time. Victory that asks us to be patient. Victory that happens only when we are in alignment with the great truth principles of life. In harmony with what our life is genuinely about. And that's for each of us to discover. No one can tell us. We can say it's love, we can say it's goodness, we can say it's courage, we can bring up the poetic principles. But what that means and how that's going to take actual shape in your life can only be discovered by you. That's why don't even latch on, to the teacher. Because that teacher energy is always around. It is the living energy that it vibrates every cell of your being. And so this is the practice, okay? So here we go. If you haven't had a little bit of water while I was chatting, then go ahead and have a sip of water. I'm going to do the same. And so we have these two kriyas we're going to be doing. The first one is some work, but it's good work, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's not super long. Anything you need to modify, anything you can't fully do, just no worries. If you can do the breath, keep doing the breath. If you can do it all, do it all. This kriya is for gaining crystal clarity. So what you're going to be doing is this. The breath is through the nose. The arms are out to the side. And it's like you're pulling energy in, pulling prana. Your fingers are firm. Hands are out. And it's like you're pulling the prana into the heart center, into the center of your chest. Okay, but we're gonna use the rhythm, and it creates like a breath of fire, like this. So with each hand, as each hand comes towards the chest, it's an exhale. And as each hand comes out, it's an exhale, inhale. I guess that's true in both cases. Focus the exhale as the hand comes to the chest. You don't hit the chest, it's like you're pulling the energy into the heart chakra, the subtle heart, and you're using the breath. And once you get it, see if you can create a gentle lift of the pelvic floor, the heart out, and once you establish your rhythm, see if you can relax the mind while keeping the substantive breath rhythm. Equal exhale, inhale. Relax the face muscles. And draw and build the vitality of the heart. Soulfulness with the spirit. There, friends. At a certain point you hit that threshold, you don't feel like you can keep going. But if you go deeper, breathe deeper, get deeper into your inner resolve, you'll work with that threshold. The deeper reservoir of vitality will open up. The prana will flow, the nadis will open, the meridians, and you find newfound clarity. Keep going. Less than a minute. tight. Heart open. Fingers tight. Lift the mulban. Exhale, relax. And just meditate for a moment. Now the next exercise is fantastic. What you're going to do is you take your arms like this and you bring the hands together. The fingers are firm and tightened, and you bring the hands towards each other with full force in front of your face like that, but then they stop abruptly. Okay? So now you'll have to work hard to do this one well, and just do your best. You need to rest, but if you can, go for it. Always take care of yourself. But this also does help to build the vitality. You exhale each time it comes together, and it's not nearly as long as the last one. Okay? All right, ready? And go. The magic of this exercise is in the breath. Use the navel. Every exhale, navel comes in. Keep going. Feel like you're building a magnetic field between the hands and the heart. Inhale deep. Relax. One of the unintentional effects of that exercise is that you might remember Life Force Academy tomorrow if those muscles haven't been worked like that anytime recently. But that's a good sore. That's a vitality happening sore. Okay? Next one I love. This one's very short, 30 seconds long, okay? I know it's like that's a lot for the arms, but it really does work to kind of open that system up a little bit. Okay, this one is energetic, short. 30 seconds. Your fingers firm, and it's like you're bouncing the prana off the earth. You're connecting. It's everything magnetism. That's why fingers firm. You're working with magnetic energy. You definitely have an electromagnetic field. We know this. The earth definitely has an electromagnetic field. Everything is this magnetism, electromagnetism. So if you can get your life force centered and charged, then you very magnetically will be kind of drawn in the direction of your personal dharma. That's the river current. It's magnetic. Its draw is the magnet of the heart. But it flows through the whole organism, electromagnetic field. So it's like you're working in. But in this case, go as quick as you can, 30 seconds. Lift through the pelvic floor. Close the eyes. Make the mind relax. About 25 seconds now. Try to keep the shoulders down and make the fingers and forearms engaged. 5 seconds. Inhale. Relax. Beautiful. Come on your back, final exercise. And after this exercise, it's a relaxation. And then there's an incredible meditation that will take all of this energy that we are working to activate, open up, and then direct it to really open the heart and expand the heart's generosity and love, the field of awareness, the intuitive mind, the courage. Okay, this one's a doozy. And just do the best you can. If it strains your lower back, put your hands under your butt, palms facing down. Can you show them that, Leah? And so in this, just the legs will come up 12 inches. And make the legs engaged and strong and draw the core in the pelvic floor. And you just breathe in this posture in order to hold it at all. And if you have to come down, come down. Leah might come down. There's no big deal. If I was doing it, I would probably come down some too. This isn't about some macho perfectionism. This is about building the vitality of your navel. So take a deep inhale. Fully exhale. And then come into the posture with your deepest inhale. And legs strong, engaged, toes engaged. Now lift up the pelvic floor and make the breath very deep. And breathe like you're breathing into your navel point, below your belly button, where the whole pranic power comes from. Everything you got, breathe. Deep and long. Final exercise, deep and long, breathe. If you have to relax, then just relax and keep the breath flowing, but keep the depth of the breath flowing if possible. Breathing into the navel, and if you can, come back into the position and continue. It's not much longer now. Seconds. Draw the navel in, below abdomen, below your belly button, tight, tight, so it shakes. Draw the root lock, rectum, sex organ, deep, deep. Relax. Amazing job, everyone. The full expression of that posture is that fingers are pushing into the navel the whole time. But good to start by supporting the back. Now please, my friends, come Shavasana. Really relax. Lie on your backs. Let the arms out some, palms facing up. Let the legs out some. And just for a few moments, imagine that your body is being filled with light, like a brilliant intelligence, a brilliant luminosity, radiance, light. And let the breath flow just relax and regulate itself. Let the body respirate just very naturally, organically. And concentrate your attention at your navel point, this power point of your chi, your prana, below the belly button. And imagine and feel that all the light is being generated from that navel point and then infusing all the tissues in the body and through your whole magnetism and field and presence. And just for a few minutes, and go to sleep. your fingers and toes. And rotate the wrists and ankles. Rub the palms and make some heat. Rub the soles of the feet in the same way. And hug the knees to the chest. And then cat stretch to each side. And then hug the knees to the chest and rock and roll a few times. This is a meditation to arouse the great heart, compassion, devotion. This is the mudra. So how this works is the pinky, ring, and middle fingers, you press the backs of the pinky, rings, and middle fingers together. And then the index fingers cross at this angle. These fingers pointing up, these cross. You hold it with the thumbs pointing away from you at the height of your heart, with the elbows relaxed down, shoulders relaxed down. So it's both kind of a lifted, solid posture, but also it's a suspended, relaxed posture. We don't want to be too tight, but we also don't want to be too limp. So you want to lift up. And that's the mudra. So does that make sense? Backs of your pinkies, rings, and middle fingers pressed against each other, pointing towards the ceiling. The Jupiter fingers, index fingers, cross like this and point away from you with the thumbs. At that angle of your Jupiter fingers, Saturn, Sun, and Mercury are pressed together. And now we're going to hold this posture like this, and you're just going to feel the energy of it. We're going to feel this, how deeply we wish for our happiness and happiness of our loved ones. Our great teachers or coaches or guides or parents or anyone, those whom we love deeply. And as soon as we feel that love in the heart, you just immediately extend it to all sensitive beings, including our opponents or enemies or so-called foes. Because the same that I wish to be free of miseries, in the way you wish to be free, so does all other living creatures. And that wish will carry you. And so now we're going to begin a segmented breathing in this Kriya, where the inhalation, maintaining the posture, just stay exactly where you are, feeling the posture, feeling the mudra, feeling the softened heart. And I'm going to guide you in the breath. So in a moment, your inhale will be segmented into 4 strokes. And then we'll suspend the breath for a count of 4, 3, 4. And then the exhale will be segmented into 4 strokes, just like this, like a... Then you suspend out, 2, 3, 4. Then you inhale, 4. Suspend, 2, 3, 4. Then you exhale. then suspend the breath out. 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. And in each interval of suspension, dwell in the spaciousness. Spacious. 3, 4. Spacious in heart. 3, 4. 1. Ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na. And within a few minutes, you'll really feel into it. Stay as still as possible. And keep going. 2, 3, 4. Sa, ta, na, ma. Ta, na, ma. In every interval between the inhalation and exhalation, suspend the breath and also suspend the mind. Ta, na, ma. body as steady and still as possible for the last couple of minutes. Like an antenna, like an emptied vessel, being a good conduit for creativity itself, love itself. Courage and generosity, goodness itself, kind-heartedness. Be the antenna. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta. Ta, na. "30 seconds. Sa. Concentrate. Na. Ma. Sa. Inhale deep. Exhale completely. Your deepest inhale. Suspend the breath. Spacious and open, perfectly still. Hold the position, exhale. Feeling the center of the chest, the subtle heart. Inhale deeply. Like a field of brilliant magnetism from the center of your heart, emanating a field in all directions. Expand it as far as your creative imagination will go. As beautiful as your imagination will go. Hold the posture, exhale. Inhale deep. Again. And exhale. And just sit in the stillness, relax the posture. Allow everything to neutralize and recalibrate. Perfectly still, mind and body. And inhale lift your arms up and shake them out. And distribute the energy around, a little grounding, all that big etheric energy into the tissue body. And exhale, keep shaking. Inhale, shake, just a few more moments. Just keep shaking. And inhale. And relax. Good. Beautiful. Have a sip of water. That's the simple. Now that's was actually, in a certain way, a rather elaborate practice. Where it's wonderful to come together. As we were all together and I was looking at everyone on the Zoom room, I was remembering my childhood. Not that there was any Zoom rooms in my childhood, but I was feeling the energy of people, and when we come together, Sangha, or Sangat, as we say. But when I was a kid growing up in our mitzvah training in the synagogue, in Judaism, they have this concept of a minyan. Like you have to have 10 people, but certain type of people. Hopefully those boundaries change, are evolving over time. Old things creep in, patriarchy is infused into all our world. And that's being unwoven and undone right now, and that's very difficult. There's so much trauma, so much pain, and that's part of what I definitely know is going on right now. The patriarchy is being undone, which it needs to be, but the process of doing that is no joke. And so that because there's so much healing that has to take place in order for us to then get into the really beautiful balance, and to not go extreme in the other direction. I don't think we will. Sometimes you initially do in order to create that balance, but eventually we're going to find it. I'm sure of it. I really believe in us. I really do. Sometimes it's hard to, but that's because we stay on our feeds all the time. If you interact with real people, your trust gets restored. So anyhow, I was feeling just that community. There is a power to coming together like this. And we do these every week in the Life Force Academy. And if you're not already a member, I do want to invite you. I think we have, some big months ahead. And Life Force Academy was really born out of this. How can we have something that helps folks have not just a practice, not just the exercises, but an inspired practice that both is infusing the tools, the techniques, the exercises, but also the spirit of it, hopefully, and the music of it, and the dharma of it. Because just the exercises without also kind of tuning in a dharmic way like we did today, it's kind of what it was, then it's, it only goes so far. But if you have both of them together, and then even if it's 1 or 2 yoga classes a week is amazing. But many people, myself included, we love the everyday. Not necessarily like this every day, but that's why in Life Force Academy, in addition to the huge library of classes, in addition to the live streams we do each week, just like this, there's power practices, which are designed for, I got 15 minutes. I'm going to do this in the morning in 15 minutes. I'm going to do a class once or twice, but I'm going to do this every day, 15 minutes, or whatever it is. There's so many options. There's something for everyone, all different times, zones, amounts of availability, commitment levels, etc. And so that's what Life Force Academy, the membership, is all about. And I just want to invite those. I know so many of you are already a part of it, and you know what's up. But those of you who were meeting for the first time, or you've never checked it out, we wanted to use this opportunity to let you know about it, because that's also what keeps this whole train running. It's a huge thing to keep it running. It's a huge effort, a huge work, and we love it. And that's the thing about when you're in the flow of your dharma,
you will be willing to work hard because it's what becomes most important. You still have to find ways to balance it, of course, and balance all the other avenues of our life with it. But to really, in my experience with the people I know that are very much in that river of their heart, it takes a feeling of a bit of a Herculean effort to make things happen. But it feels Herculean in the sense that you have it. You have the energy to do it, and it's flowing through your inspiration. It's flowing through your sense of purpose. And that's what I think these practices are so brilliant with, is keeping all the wires connected so that our energy is flowing well, so that the intuitive mind is being nurtured on a regular basis. So we say, oh yes, this is what I'm all about. And that's essentially, and from there, it's not just a stagnant, this is what I'm all about, let me just keep it. It's, let me explore deeper into it, and let me allow it to blossom into something definitely that I can't even imagine. And I'm not talking about Life Force Academy. I'm not talking about anyone's business or job or work. I'm talking about the experience of reality, the experience of what we are. And all these things are vehicles that help us to serve. When you have that thing that helps you to serve, your heart extends. And now you have a vehicle for your heart to extend. So anyhow, without going on and on and on, because I know I've gone over a little bit already, I did want to invite everybody. And our team put together something that we want to share with you and invite you to help inspire you, if you can, to come into this, because there's a couple options. The normal option is that everybody has the opportunity to do a $1 trial, and it's a 14-day $1 trial, and you can just try it out, and if you love it, you can stay in. If it's not for you, you can cancel. So that's how that works, and that's available to you. But for new folks, or folks who are just on that monthly thing, our team put together like a summertime annual special but it's this week only, and it's normal price. If you're paying monthly price, you're paying $300 a year for Life Force Academy, and even that is really reasonable. If you were, God bless yoga studios, because so many of them have closed in the last year. It's been really sad. I've spent a huge part of my life traveling around the world teaching at wonderful yoga centers. So with that being said, if you were to be visiting a yoga center, it's harder. It's far more expensive because they have to be. But in this case, it's just $300 a year if you're paying monthly, $25 a month. Normal price, regular price for the annual, which is discounted from that $25 a month, is $229. But right now they're offering it until Tuesday at 10 p.m. Pacific. We are offering it. We are offering it at $197 per year. I'm reading through it, making sure I get everything right. I don't want to mess up the details. We are offering it at $197 per year, and that's the annual price. And so it's just $197 for the whole year. So if you have the wherewithal to do that, we've never offered it like that before. That's the lowest price we've ever offered on that annual. So that's what it is, but it's only for now till Tuesday, and not after the 2-week trial, for instance. They just needed me, because if I don't get these right, then there's so many questions that come into our team. So I wanted to make it. So thank you for listening to that. Thank you for being here, and for sharing your energy with us and being part of this. And let's seal this class proper. Bring your hands into the prayer pose. And we've gone through the full waxing of the moon. We've arrived at the peak, the crescendo of the full moon. And that's cause to celebrate and to feel good. The moon's going to start waning again, and then we're going to go into an inward rhythm, more inward rhythm, where we get to learn, and then we'll reach the next full moon. So giving thanks and sharing our hearts.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Blessings, everyone. Thank you. Happy full moon. Happy Guru Purnima. And thanks, everybody, for being here. I'm going to come over to the Zoom room and hang out for a few minutes. So if anybody's not on there yet and want to come hang for a few, give me a couple minutes. I'm going to run to get some water. But in 3 to 4 minutes, I should be over there. Okay, lots of love. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great weekend. Satnam. But you're wired somehow. Like you have a certain way of existing that is absolutely natural and skillful for you. It's you're talented in that way. It's how your heart expresses itself. It's how you get inside of love, and how love expresses itself uniquely through you.
If you have a mind, you have a mission.
If you have a mind,
You have a mission.
If you have a mind,
You have a mission.